afternoon, it's Eleanor here from the Love of Stitches, here with Flosstube number 34, and it's a while since I've done one. Long stories, but it's nice to see you, and I'm glad to be back. We've had a lot go on over since March when I last filmed, which I'm sure if you want to hear about it, we can go through it later. But welcome to my returning subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Help me get to that 2,000 subscriber mark. That would be brilliant. So, Flosstube 34. Where's the time gone? Amazing, isn't it? So, what have I been working on? Let's have a look. Let's start with that. So, as some of you are aware, I do a couple of model stitches for Northumberland Sampler House. So, I've been working on a new one, which is Anne Innes. There we go. That is a picture of the original. So it's not available as yet. As soon as I finish it, it will be available. And where am I so far? So we've done loads actually since I last filmed, because I really do need to get it finished. I promise Anita I will get it finished. So there we go. Loads done. So and I'm loving the bottom of it, which is good. And we've just got caught on my necklace, which is not good. Not good at all. There we go. Oh. Right, yeah, there we go. I'm having problems with my shoulder at the moment, so I'm going to be struggling lifting things up. So a brilliant Scottish sampler there. So I've been working on that as much as I can. So we'll put that down there for now. Right then, what have I worked on next? Let's have a look. So we have got Quilter's Sampler, I think it's called. Bear with me, let's see if I can find it. It's Northumberland, not Northumberland, have you heard me? It's actually let's find it. Found that one. So it's Modern Folk Embroidery. And I can't find it. It's definitely on here somewhere. Is that one? It's called Quilters. I'm sure it's Quilter's Sampler. There we go. Oh, Quilter's Dream. Let's get it up for you. There we go. So I've done quite a bit on that, and I'm using, it's first time I've used these threads, but I'm using CXC threads, but I don't think I'll use them again because they're a bit, I don't know. So I'm using those two colours. The equivalent is DMC 931 and 336. And here we are, and we're on I think it's Gingerbread by Sparklies. There we go. Plenty of, I'm nearly halfway through. So, yeah. So that's good. Put that back in its bag. Sorry about any noises that you may hear from the zips, etc. So what we've got next? We've got Hands Across the Sea samplers. And I should have finished this by now. But my mind's been all over the place lately. So there we go. We've got Anne Campion. Yeah, just checking I got it right. And if you remember, I started this a couple of years ago when I went to, where did I go? We went to Italy. So it should have been finished, and we're nearly finished. But there we go. So we're not far off a finish. I'm using the call for 103. And I do believe this is, I have the bag. See? Heaps. There we go. Vintage, get my teeth in. Vintage Country Mocha. 40 count. So there we go. Tell you a tale about 40 count. Well, actually, it's not about 40 count. My sister's birthday, actually on Saturday. It's now Monday. And her daughter bought her, she asked for a cross stitch kit. So my niece bought her a cross stitch kit. 11 count. 11 count. So I looked at it, I says, that is really big. She said, oh, in. I said, it is. I says, that's 11 holes per inch. I work with 40 holes per inch. So, yeah, it should be interesting if she finishes it. She's not done any cross stitch for a long time. So, but there we go. Fingers crossed that will be soon finished. Where am I on here? So I am halfway across this band here. So I've just got that to do. Come on, Eleanor. Get your act together, girl. Woman. Oldie. Yeah. So next up is my secret stitch for my husband, and I can't believe I actually sit next to him while doing this. Yeah, I'm getting my iPad out again for you so you can have a picture. I've mentioned it loads of times in my floss tube. This just shows you that it doesn't watch the floss tube, it just plays it in the background. But it is Dark Force. It's no longer available. It was just a limited edition, so it's out of print. And there we go, it's Dark Force Tilton Crafts. So I've worked a bit on this. I am now on the second row. I'm using all the called for DMC. And we're using Easy Guide, but that's where we are at the moment. So the top row is done, and I've just started the second row. I don't know, you see, I've got my needle minder there. I don't know why I've got a Christmas needle minder there, but you can see the top of his helmet there. So And to say it's all dark on the chart, it's actually all different shades of blues. There we go. With a bit of black in it as well. Got some black. But yeah, it's all different shades of blues that are in there. I will eventually get it finished for him. And then I do have its companion piece as well, which is, I'll show you, Master. So it's Yoda. So I definitely want to do that as well, if I ever get this one finished. Fun and games. So there we go. So it's easy guide. I think it's might be 20 count, maybe 25. I'm not sure. It's that long ago since I started it. Pop that back in that bag. Right. The next piece I started when our beloved Millie was diagnosed with cancer. Sadly, she passed away a couple of weeks ago. She became very, very unwell. Yeah, it was very sad, and she's greatly missed. Coming in from work on a night, I expect her to be sort of like laid on the sofa or on the windowsill waiting to be let out, you know, wanting a tea. No. So with this one, it is Winter Rose Manor. Sorry about the glare. So this is a With Thy Needle and Thread. And I am using, again, 40 count natural linen from Zweigart with all the called for threads. There we go. I haven't touched this for a few weeks, but there we go. That's where we are at the moment. Struggling with my arm. The sun's gone in a little bit. So we haven't had any rain in the UK for some time. We've had the odd drizzle, but not substantial. The reservoirs are quite low. But this, because it's a bank holiday weekend in the UK, it's raining. Which is good, because we really do need the rain. To the point, if we don't get the rain, especially here in Yorkshire, we could be going on to a temporary usage ban, which is not good. So there we go, Winter Rose Manor. What have we got next? I hope I'm not boring you all too much. So, Anne Tong Uffendale. Not done much on this either. To tell you the truth, I've really lost my mojo, and I'm hoping doing this Flosstube will help me get my mojo back. But there we go. Anne Tong Uffendale. And again, we are using a 40 count fabric. I am sure it is like Mocha by Zweigart, which I really could do with getting some more of this because it's quite nice. But I'm using all the called for DMC thread. And this is where we are on this. top bit is done, apart from the 1/1, and I've moved down to there, but she's looking really, sorry my arm's hurting, she's looking really good. There we go. I'd love to get her finished this year, as with a lot of my stuff, but time will tell if I can get my mojo back. Really, my mojo's gone since Bonnie was born. I've hardly done any stitching since then, but every stitch counts, and that's the main thing. So there we go. What else have we got? We have got red. So it's a Mirabilia. This is another one I really need to get finished. I have done a little bit on her since we last recorded, but not much. So there we go. I've managed to get some of her face done. So I've just got all down this side to do, really, as well as the beading. As we know, she has a lot of beads in there. There we go. So, and this is on a Swigart printed fabric, and it's like a cloudy effect on grey, and it is 32 count. So 2/2, because of all the beads that need to go on there. So I'm quite pleased with how she's come along. There we go. So let's see what she's going to look like at the end. Right then, what have we got next? So my travel piece. Again, we haven't done much on it. There we go. If you're wondering what it is, look at all that screwed up at the back. It's Plum Street Samplers. I'm using all the call for thread. It's Sweetheart Hill. So the house is just about done. And you can see where the hill's going to be there. I'm quite pleased with how that's come along. So, but again, not worked on her for some time. So that's that one, and last but not least, when I grab her, I've been putting a few stitches in Mary 395. And I've got some plans for this as well, which I will go through when I go through my plans. There we go. And last night I realised I had made one boo-boo. So, where is it? Yeah, that row there. So that row there, from about here onwards, it's going to have to be pulled out. It's actually one thread over, and when they join together here, it's going to make a mess. I know that at that point is correct, so I need to pull it back. But last night what I did was I worked on some of that motif there. So I filled in that one and did those 2 sections there. But I have plans for this, so I will go through that when I go through my plans. So what else have I done? I've actually done a bit of knitting. So sorry, bra straps. They're a pain. So I've got a nice little bag. Oops, upside down. That I picked up in Crete, which I was there. I've been back about 10 days from Crete. I went with my stitch friends. So my bestie Sandy. We went with the Gin Stitcher. If you've not watched the Gin Stitcher, you need to watch her. So that's Laura. We also had Susie and Auntie Liz. Now, if you're wondering who Auntie Liz is, she's actually my aunt. But everybody calls her Auntie Liz because I call her Auntie Liz. And while I was in Crete, I actually worked on some knitting. I started it just before I went to Crete. And then worked on this when we were sat in the bar and stuff. So it's something, it's my own design. It's not written down. It's actually in the old noggin. And it's a sort of like triangle wrap. So, and I'm using a ball of variegated wool. There we go. So that's where I started. Right down there. Sorry, my arm's hurting. Right down there. And at the moment, we're right up there. And we've started getting a little bit of pink in there as well. So I started at blue, working to grey, to yellow. Now we're on pink. There we go. And eventually it will be purple. So that's nearly finished. Won't take too long. So that is my knitting. So keeps me out of mischief. And I've been knitting a lot longer than I have stitched. So I learned how to knit when I was about 6, and I sort of like taught myself by watching my mum. So where most people throw the yarn with the right hand, I actually use my left hand. So I mirrored her. So I knit left-handed even though I'm right-handed. So that's my knitting. So with a bit of luck, that will be finished shortly. So, right then. What have we got up next? Plans. What have I got planned in my future? So, let's have a look. Just get the knitting out of the way. Just stick it down there for now. So, plans. It is our little Bonnie's first birthday in 3 weeks' time. And what I would like to do is for her birthday, I want a new start. And my thoughts are start it on her birthday and finishing it for her next birthday. Come on, where are you? I had it all set up. And as always, things don't go to plan. Right, I don't know whether you've seen, but Whilst Iris Snaps has a new reproduction sampler out, and it's a Scottish sampler, and it's Helen Monroe, and I think that is to die for. That is absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to start it on Bonnie's birthday. So she'll be 1 on the 16th of June, which is the day after Father's Day, because she was born on Father's Day last year. There we go. And I plan to finish it for her 2nd birthday. And do you know what I like about it? I like that lovely house, and let's see if I can zoom in. No. Oh, there we go. That flower stitch there. That one there. I think that section is beautiful. No, we don't want to copy, and we don't want to share. Here we go. So, yay! So that's one of my plans. I can put that down now, don't need that. And another plan is, who've I been watching? Narissa's Stitching Lifestyle. Narissa and a few of her friends are doing a thread a day on a red sampler. So that is what I want to do with the Mary 395. So I've got Mary 395 that I want to get some progress on, and I think by doing a stitch a day, I can, not a stitch a day, a thread a day, I can do that. And if you're wondering what I'm using for that, it's actually Silks for You, and the colour number is PR057. I just hope I've got enough, I really do. So yeah, so a thread a day. So that's what I worked on last night. I actually used a thread and a half, because I had a thread from somewhere over here that I finished off. So yeah. So anybody wants to join me, you're more than welcome. And talk about joining me. I did have a Facebook page that I used to sell my shawls on and things like that. I've now put it in the name of For the Love of Stitches. So if you want to join me over there, you're more than welcome. It is open to anybody. So yeah, as well as my Instagram page. I have got a TikTok page, but I'm still trying to figure out how to use that. But there we go. Not to worry. So let's, oh, the fabric for this. It is. What is it? I have a card. It's Sparkly's Moral, which you can't get anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, and it's 40 count. What's new? So let's do that. So what else have I been doing? So at Easter, we went down to visit Caroline and Bonnie and Caroline's partner. And we went into a vintage shop, and I managed to find Butternut Road. It doesn't actually say. Oh, it's called New Baby. Out of print. So I managed to find that, and I have quite a collection upstairs. And I also found this for £1 a pound. So I couldn't leave it behind for £1. But there is a little bit of speciality stitches in there, but it's a Madeira cross stitch collection. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. And it's fully kitted. It's got even weave linen, 32 count, Madeira force stranded silk, needle, thread organizer, chart and instructions. It's called Acorn Scroll. I'm sorry, but £1. And what else did I get? I've got a few charts that I'm not sure if I showed these previously, but I've got a couple of blackbird ones. So gifts of the season, I love that, but I really like that. That is the original sampler. So you've got that on the front page, which is that one. What else have we got in here? There's 4 projects. So we've got Jane Fawns. Come on, let's show Jane Fawns. There's no picture. Oh, it's just showing the original. Which is that? So we've got that. Then we've got the one that I like, Gifts of the Season. And then there is a little pinky in, and it's for the attic. There we go. What else have we got? Oh yeah, it's the world around, and it's just a little stitch there. They're really nice, aren't they? So I got that one, and I also got a little bit of spring, which is just a single chart. And I do like blackbird. I have done a few. I think it was Flosstube, either 2 or 3. I did go through some of the blackbirds that I have, the ones that I've done. If you want to go back and have a look, you're more than welcome. So, Flosstubers, what have I been watching lately? Oh, Camping Stitcher, Chris. Oh, I could buy all your charts, but when am I going to do them? Yeah, so it's Chris, Camping Stitcher. Narissa's Stitching Lifestyle, sorry. Your work is absolutely brilliant. I watched you yesterday, and I love how you've rearranged your back wall, which is good. I just need to get mine on the wall, but I'm frightened the sun's gonna, because we have a south facing main living room, and then just a dining kitchen, and I wouldn't put anything in there because I think it might get ruined with the smells and things, so can't win. So what else? Saltbox Stitcher. I'm so sorry to hear about your brother, Carol, so my thoughts go out to you. Wild Starry Snaps, goes without saying, we love a bit of Wild Starry Snaps. Christina, another Yorkshire girl. I've also been watching Tattooed Stitcher, and I think your work is beautiful, really is. And how you managed to get so much stitching done, I only wish I knew. We've also got Kindred Stitcher. I love watching her. I can't wait to see your finished house. Really can't. And then we've got Sweetwater Stitcher, Jessica. Yep, can't go wrong with a bit of Sweetwater Stitcher. Check them all out if you can. So that's what I've been watching whilst things have been happening in my life. So what things have been happening in my life? Why haven't I been on Flosstube for such a long time? Well, in March, after I filmed, I became ill again, and I got a severe chest infection, to the point hubby got the ambulance out. I was really not well. That knocked me out for nearly 4 weeks, and yeah, I was really ill. And whilst I was ill with that, I also got diagnosed with a fibromyalgia, which explains why I've not been so well of lately. But life still goes on. I've still got to go to work because I can't afford not to, even though I'm in constant pain all the time. And at the moment, this shoulder is really bad. But luckily, because I'm stitching, I'm not moving my shoulder. Same with knitting, I'm not moving the shoulders, so which is good. So I can still stitch, I can still knit and crochet. But I haven't done much of that lately either. So what else has happened? So we went to see Bonnie at Easter, and I got to push her in her pram for the first time. Yep, and she's got a new pram. So she's got a new pushchair, which is an adapted pushchair, which you can actually sit up in and look round, which is going to help strengthen her neck. But yeah, she's doing well. She's coming on. She's learning new things every day. But yeah, she's a little sweetheart. And we're going to go see her on the 21st of June, just slightly after her birthday, because of rail replacements for the birthday weekend. It'd take us forever to get there. So, because they're near the south coast, we're up in Yorkshire. So, but hey ho. Then when we came back from visiting them, we went to pick Millie up from the cattery and noticed that she'd gone downhill. She'd really gone downhill. They said that she'd hardly eaten anything, and they were struggling to get her to eat, but she was taking a medication all right. And then sadly so we got back on the Friday, picked her up, and she passed away on the Tuesday. So that was a really hard time. Really hard time. But hey ho. No plans to get another cat as of yet, although I did hear my husband talking to the neighbour, saying, we might get one after our holidays. We might get one after his holidays. I want some new furniture. So anyway, she is over there. We've got a little casket. She's in there, her ashes. So, which is the first time we've ever done with a cat. We've had a few, but hey ho. So and then I've been on holiday to Crete with the girls, and our next holiday is not far away, and we're going to Lanzarote. That's me and the hubby. What do I take to Lanzarote with me? I need to take some stitching, and I can do some stitching on the plane. So answers on a postcard, please. That would be good. So I think I've whinged on and moaned on for long enough. I hope you all have a fantastic stitching week. Hopefully I will be back in a couple of weeks, unless I get ill again. The thing is, if I'm ill, I can't film. Because if I film, that means I can go to work. So, whereas if I didn't work, I could film as and when I felt up to it. But I can't afford not to. But hey ho. Right. If you've not clicked that subscribe button, please do. Help me get to that 2,000 mark. What else? Don't forget to share. And just remember, one stitch at a time, and before you know it, you'll be where you want to be. So have a fantastic stitching week. Catch up with you soon. Love to you all. Bye for now.